What is up, Twitch? We are back with another exciting new project. No JavaScript this year. Instead, we're going to be learning 1,000 traditional Chinese characters in 10 days. Zhong said it can't be done. And that didn't work last time, did it, Zhong? You remember this book where I did all my kanji for the last couple of years, and I took it around Japan with me and showed everybody, and they thought I was a crazy person. But who's crazy now, huh? Look at this, making a living off it. So I thought it would be fun to try and learn like 3,000 Hanzi, but that feels ridiculous. So let's just try and do 1,000 and see if we can feel good about that. I've already done a bit of setup, as you might have seen on the stream. I got some cool music and stuff like that. But otherwise, most of what I'm going to be showing will just be a little, little webcam, some characters, I guess, and maybe how I come up with like a mnemonic to recognize and remember each one, basically. And I'm going to try and do that just really, really quickly. Because if you normally what happens is you sort of I use this like system of flashcards that sort of shows the ones that you do poorly at over and over again, like repeats your mistakes. And so if I do like 50 a day for like 100 days, then by the like 20th day, I'll just be getting like 500 reviews and then like 20 new cards. So instead, what I'm going to do is just try and do like 100 really quickly, 100 every day, and then I'll by the end of it, by the end of those 10 days, there'll probably be like 500 flashcards a day, and then 100 new ones, and making new ones takes ages. So I'm probably going to come up with a story, try and drill it, try and talk it through, and then maybe I'll write out like 10 times or something on here and just see what happens, I guess. So yeah, let's move over to the gamer zone. I've never figured out how to see chat while I'm doing this, so just bear with me. I think maybe on other days I'm going to have the chat up on my phone or something, just so it's a bit less distracting. Um, but anyway, let's move over to the screen. Zoom. Here we go. So that should be showing me in a little corner in the webcam. You should be able to hear what I say, hopefully, as well. Let's see if I can hear what I'm saying. Perfect. Really exceptional stuff. I'm realizing now that's probably going to look way too small as well. I don't know if I can zoom. Oh, cool. So this is Anki. If you've never used it before, it's just like a custom flashcard thingy, and I'm going to set it so that each day I do 100, which they're warning me that my limit should be 1,000. But I'm hoping that because I've done 2,000 Japanese kanji, there'll be some overlap and some will be quite easy. And especially the first 100. So here we go, first of many. John, I'm coming for you. I'm going to kick your butt. I'm going to kick your butt live on this stream. Who would have guessed, huh? One. It's got to start somewhere, right? You know? I don't really need to do that one, but I'll do it anyway, just to show how this is going to work. So I've drawn out a few ones there. Can I see that? Yeah, a couple of ones at the very end of my crazy page of writing. And that's basically how this is going to go. I've also got in here a space to sort of write a story. So later on, this will make a lot more sense. But for here, 1 is kind of obvious, 2 is kind of obvious. But later on, we get to things that look more like pictograms. You know, they actually look like a person on fire, or they look like an eyeball or something like that. But otherwise, yeah, it'll be quite easy for maybe 50 of them anyway. And then here I can mark whether they're something I need to see immediately, something that's quite hard and I'll see in a few days, something that's good and I'll see in a few hours, and something that's extremely easy I won't see for like over a week. And this is one, it's way too easy. So it's going to be an easy. And obviously we carry on with 2. And so what I'm doing here is I'm just trying to learn an English keyword for each character, and that means when I see a sign on the side of the road, I can sort of immediately transliterate it and just go, 1, 2. I've done it before where it said something like snow tires or this way to the train station. It's a lot easier if you just have these keywords. It's not particularly useful after that, but that's not hugely a problem. I wonder if there's a way I can sort of keep this chat pinned up here. Anyway, it's not a problem. And then I do have another system I used before called Kanji Kohi, which has a pretty handy lookup system. And then that's not what I want. And this one. So this, I've already gone through like all of the kanji on here, but what this means is that I can, if something is familiar, I can paste that Hanzi into the URL here. So for example, with this 2, I can paste it here and it will show me my 2, and it will show me the story that I saved for that one. So I'm hoping there's a huge overlap here and I can sort of work with them, but this is traditional Hanzi, so there will be quite a large difference in a lot of cases. Anyway, 3. Easy. 4. I used to imagine this as a little boy falling through a toy castle. And those are his legs falling through. And this is where you sort of break down all of these characters into what is essentially about 200 what are called radicals. So for example, this outside part is known as a mouth. It's used to represent a mouth or population, all sorts of things like that. And then inside, I would probably call it something like legs. And if we look on a lot of the dictionary sites, they actually have these radicals listed. It's sort of, you got to think with a system like this, you can't actually type characters into the dictionary. So in a lot of ways, they're searched for using these radical parts. And there, the only radical is that mouth, or they call it enclosure here, which makes sense too. Again, they're all easy. These are all exactly the same as Japanese anyway. Six. Sorry, I should probably show the answer, but I mean, feel free to join along, but you definitely don't have to. I'm just sort of doing this because it might, some people like the consistency and things like that. I really need to figure out a way to get the chat up there. Maybe I can do like a sort of a more clever positioning like this. The chat alongside it. There we go. Cool. So here you go. We've got a suggested story here indicating the sixth part of a human body: head, body, 2 arms, 2 legs. And this again is another radical. They call it animal legs when they're sort of splayed out. 7. I like this one because it looks like our 7 but upside down. So kind of easy. I'm sure they have a more interesting reason for it than that, but it's kind of a funny coincidence. 8. Bar. And I do know how to read some of these, and that's sort of the downside of this approach, is that you don't learn any readings. But I think if you're going somewhere for a short period of time, or you want to just get them out of the way and create a foundation, this is an amazing way to do it. So I'm reading half of them as Japanese by mistake, which isn't going to be useful long term, but we'll see. Yeah, we're just doing it for Jong, just remember. Thank you, Jong, we got this. Easy peasy, 10. Again, I like to think of the Roman numerals here. It's just the X on its side. It's kind of easy, or maybe even a T for 10. And here we go. As I said, it's mouth, so that is a classic radical that we'll see over and over again. So it's good to know this is mouth, and if we look up the kanji for drink or for eat or anything like that, you'll see that this kanji is always, this radical is always part of that. So there is a bit of logic. You see the mouth there, among other things, but that's the only one in there. Same in drink, I believe. So it sort of makes sense, and it makes it a lot easier to sort of build up these more complicated stories when we see these more complicated characters later. This one is the sun. These were once upon a time rounded as characters, so it looked more like a sun, as sort of a circle with a line going through it. But over time, they sort of became a bit more blocky. They went through these iterations. I'm not going to forget those anytime soon. Then this one is the moon. Although again, it has multiple meanings. This one usually means either moon or some sort of part of the body, some sort of organ or something like that. Now this one I would call a rice paddy. I wonder if it still means that. Just watching the stroke order here because it makes it a bit easier to remember them. And you sort of write them naturally in the right order after you learn a few anyway. Oops. Oh, interesting. Yeah, so it's a pictograph of a rice paddy. Same as it is in Japanese again. It can also be used as like a brain or for some organs and stuff like that. This one is an eye. Again, it would have been rounded at a time, so it looked a lot more like an eye. This one I would call dirt. In Japan, it's used to sort of mark the days, sort of like water day, fire day, dirt day. And this is old, so I've mixed them up. Right, well that can be our first not easy one. Oh yeah, we'll see dirt later doesn't have the mouth on the bottom. It does look like a tombstone though. That's probably what I'm going to go with. Let's call that good. And now here we've got an ancient moon or an ancient piece of flesh. Just going to check that this is a traditional kanji and not a simplified one as well. Reckless, foolish, or wild. Oh, interesting. So this one is new for me already. What are we? Number 17. That's not good. Right, so we've got something ancient or a tombstone, and then we've got a moon. Cool kids refer to people as ancient moons. Ancient moons can act pretty recklessly. That doesn't really make much sense to me. I'm pretty sure I've never seen this before, but let's try it over on Kanji Kuhi anyway. Uncivilized. So with the kanji, I stopped at about 2000. But luckily it has the same thing. So uncivilized people eat old flesh. This is a really good system. I'm glad there's an overlap here. People call this zombie because it shows up in a few other ones. So maybe we'll do that. So this isn't a radical per se, but it's useful to come up with names for things that appear in multiple other ones, so I'll be able to easily remember the other four that use this from this. So let's call it Only Uncivilized Zombies Eat Old Flesh. I'll probably get confused with that assuming it's the moon. And let's call it Reckless. Only reckless zombies eat old flesh. Only reckless zombies eat old flesh. And let's put a note for what zombie is as well while we're here. Zombie and old fleshy. Only reckless zombies eat old flesh. 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 Flesh reckless. Let's call that hard. Okay, we have a 5 on top of a mouth. Now in Japanese, this one meant like me in sort of a perceiving and senses based way. So I remembered it as there's sort of 5 senses. And luckily it does as well. I, literary. I'm not really sure what that means, but maybe it means it showed up in books or something like that. Old eye. So it seems to be sort of an old. Perhaps we could consider it something like ye, like an old way of referring to yourself. Though they both mean, here we go, it's like the difference between you and thou. So it's sort of an old style, more, I don't know, I wouldn't call it literary, but let's just call it I. I. Again, I already know that one from Japanese, but I do think it's an interesting one. Okay, this one in Japanese was companion. Yeah, 2 fleshy companions. I always imagine it as Frodo and Sam heading off to destroy the ring. And that is bright to me. The sun and the moon, the 2 bright things in our sky. Kind of the same story, huh? Sun and moon, 2 brightest objects in the sky. That's basically what I've already got. Easy. Then we have a mouth and 2 suns. Now, in Japanese, this is sort of a form of, I think, religious chanting or singing or something like that. And I remember that as sort of, there's a director with his mouth open here, and then there's two other mouths with sort of flapping tongues. Well, we got our first chat animes for kids. Welcome animes for kids. What's your favorite Hanzi character? It does still mean sing. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Although I don't really like that. Alright, hey, this is a child-friendly channel. This is an educational channel, buddy. Don't make me time you out. 3 suns on top of each other. Again, in Japanese, I would call this sparkle. And luckily, in Mandarin, it also seems to refer to sparkling. So it's quite an easy picture, sort of 3 sun-like objects sort of floating around each other. Really lovely thing to envision. And now we got 3 mouths stacked on top of each other. Any guesses for that? I think it's a bit deceiving. I call it supplies. That's pretty good. So, I would just call it a pictograph of sort of, 3 boxes stacked on top of each other, selling some goods or supplies or something like that. So that makes sense to me. And then here we've got a sun on top of a sun. Not sure what that would be. Prosperous. If you work from sun up to sundown, you'd be prosperous. Love it. That's what we're doing here on the stream today, everybody. Working from sun up to sundown. This would be the early in Japanese, I believe. Yes, yasu, yesai. Is that vegetables? Easy peasy. Sunrise is early before 10 in the morning. I don't think I could ever forget that one, sadly. This I would call rising sun, which is an interesting one. I guess I always assumed that was a bit more Japanese than it was, but maybe it's just the sunrise. Dawn, rising sun. Oh, I'm probably going to get into Japanese. Look at that. The old kanji, that's so weird. Alright, rising sun it is then. 9 AM carries with it the rising sun. Goodbye. Thank you for coming to watch Animes for Kids. This one, to me, is Generations or The World or something like that. Generation for 10, written 3 times. What's that? 10, 10, 10, I guess, and then connected. I don't know, I always think this looks like a little farmer man. Like he's raising a generation on the farm or something like that. I don't know if I can embed images in this. I guess I can if that's there. Can I just do that in there? Does it have to be in here? I don't really know how they got that in there. Oh, can I put an attachment in there? Oh, what would that do? It opens it. Oh, that's interesting. If it was an image. Oh, that's neat. Maybe I'll put some images in some later. Right, here's that rice paddy again, and the moon. But really, what's being used here is the moon is representing flesh, which gives us a clue this is an organ. And as I said before, the rice paddy can also be used as sort of a brain as well. So this one, you'd think it would be brain, but actually I think it might be stomach. And it is. Rice field is harvested once a month to get food for our stomachs. I like that. I like that more than what I had. I should probably look at the answer before I write it down because I might be wrong. Alright. Sun above a 1. Rise up. Right. Daybreak. So you know what's the difference between daybreak and dawn? I don't really know. Let's have a look. Okay. It's daybreak. The sun rises above the horizon, let's call it. Call that good. This is convex, concave, whichever one's inwards, concave. And same as Japanese here, though I've never ever seen this anywhere in Japan, written anywhere. I'm not really sure what it's for. And convex. Glad whoever that guy that was roasting me in the chat isn't here anymore, because he would have a field day with this one. Convex. This is, I think we had an eyeball before. This is an eyeball with a little, I just call it a drop above it. I believe this is something like myself or oneself or something like that. Yeah, easy. This one is white. We could call it a drop from the sun. I need to really get into a habit of actually checking if I'm right before I assume the Japanese word is the same one. So yeah, imagine a drop falling off the sun and it's white hot. This one is 100 or 100 by yaku in Japanese. White 7. White 7. You can probably tell which ones I've never seen before because I have no idea what this means. But you can see this is how I would break this if I saw it in the wild. I could, white 7, white 7. Normally that would trigger a mnemonic if there was one. Soap. After washing thoroughly with soap, dishes become 7 times whiter. I don't like 7 times. Maybe we could flip that around and be like, I wash 7 white plates with soap. That'll stick around. Didn't actually know the Japanese for soap, or the kanji for it, so maybe they don't have any, huh? I wash 7 white plates with soap. I wash 7 white plates with soap. I normally try and put the keywords in from sort of top to bottom so it triggers them, because I might see this and go like white 7, white 7, white 7, whereas if it was 7 white, Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs, that just feels too obvious. Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs. Snow White washes the 7 dwarves with soap. That's going to stick for sure. Snow White washes the 7 dwarfs with soap. Snow White washes the 7 dwarfs with soap. Let's go hard. This one is middle. Mouth pierced through the middle. See this so much though. Something inside something else. China is referred to as the sort of middle country. Middle. This is 1,000 of something. Looks kind of like a big T. And you just see it so many times that I don't even need a story anymore. 1,000 mouths form a riot. 1,000 mouths. A tongue allows a mouth to speak 1,000 things. Yeah. Tongue allows a mouth to speak 1,000 things. Tongue allows a mouth to speak 1,000 things. Kind of like that. Let's call that hard because I did forget that one. Rise up. Second cup. Liter. Oh, interesting. This was in my kanji, I believe, as a sake cup measuring box. That is interesting. So in Mandarin it seems to refer to as liter, but in Japanese it refers to these things called masu. And I guess maybe they were a liter, or just a coincidence that they were the measuring unit for liquids. So it's kind of the same thing, although I much prefer it to refer to a liter than whatever these things were. You've probably seen them in restaurants or something like that. Very interesting. Okay. 1,000 needles fill the volume of about a liter. I don't really like that. Let's call the measuring cup in China holds a liter. It's a bit of a cheat one for me, since I will probably not be able to unassociate that from a masu, sadly, for quite a while. Let's call it good. Oh. Sun rise up from my sake cup. Rise up. I could say they're all in there. Sun rise up from sake cup. 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 Round. This is maru in Japanese. Round people, round things. Easy peasy. Pill. Do. What the hell? Well, that's what I get. Oh wow. I guess they have a word for round then. So they do. Now this is an interesting, I mean, if I use the word round here, it's just going to confuse me. So I probably need to separate this into something else. Medicine, taking 9. So like that. Take 9 pills and a drop of medicine. 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 That's really hard. It's going to have to be unlearned fairly quickly. Divination. I would call this a magic wand, so this is pretty good. Divination. Divination, 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 divination. Let's go for hard. I would call this, what would I call this? A shop, a fortune teller. So it's like someone holding that divining rod or something. Tell fortunes. Wave the magic wand and you can use your mouth to tell fortunes. Wave the magic wand and use your mouth to tell fortunes. I would call this above. Thank goodness. Above, 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 below. Above and below. Middle. Card. Interesting. Let's see what kind of cards we're talking about here. Oh. It's like credit cards. So this would make me think about like playing cards, but it looks like it's more frequently used for credit card, debit cards. So let's do like on a card above has numbers, below has your CVC, something like that. That'll help me remember it. So on a card, above has your numbers, below has your CVC. On a debit card, above has your numbers, below has your CVC. Card above has your numbers, below has your CVC. I like that one. Nice and easy to piece together. Definitely a hard one there. Okay, we're back at this one. Take 9 pills and a drop of medicine, I believe. Nice. 9 pills and a drop of medicine. Now this is early with divination. Early divination, early magic wand. Eminent. Most eminent magician is he who learnt to use his magic wand early in life. The eminent magician uses his wand early. 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 Morning. Morning. Dynasty. So in Japanese, this is asa for morning, I believe, unless I'm missing an obvious piece of it. Interesting. I guess, is there a particular dynasty that was this, the morning dynasty or something? Feels like there's a lot of history in this one. Well, it does mean morning as well. So. I wonder if it's worth keeping that as morning. Breakfast. No, totally different early meal. I'm just wondering if, what do we associate with morning that might have an overlap? Or is it going to be worth learning that as dynasty? Yeah, that's a tricky one. Breakfast. I don't know what else would come up in the morning. Mnemonics doesn't seem to be particularly used. Maybe I can get more details on this. Dynasty morning, tide, temple, ridicule. I mean, I'd say that, this moist, wet, damp is related to morning, but it does seem to be related to dynasties and stuff like that, so let's keep it. Okay, I like that. So on the left we have the mist moving in and settling under the moonlight of the new dynasty. The mist rolls in under the moonlight of the new dynasty. The mist rolls in under the moonlight of the new dynasty. The mist rolls in under the moonlight of the new dynasty. The mist rolls in under the moonlight of the new dynasty. And what is a dynasty? That's kind of useless. Is dynasty like a period or when? Oh dear. Dynastic state. Sequence of rulers from the same family. Oh! Okay, let's call that hard. Mouth dynasty. I mean, I just saw that this was ridicule, which kind of makes sense. Words leave the mouth to ridicule the dynasty. Yeah, that's common. People love to ridicule their dynasty rulers. Again, if I don't remember that that's dynasty, then the mist and the moon are going to be lost really quickly. But we'll have to see, won't we? I think this has taken me 90 minutes to do 50. Okay, I'd call this only, and it still is only, that's nice. There's an animal with only a mouth and legs. Animal with a mouth and legs. Or with only a mouth and legs. I would call it shellfish. Also used as money in some places. I guess perhaps they used to use clams as money or something like that. Shellfish. What was that? Fortune telling. In Japanese, this was posting a bill somewhere. Fix it to a shell with some paste. Let's simplify that a lot. Paste this shellfish into a wall, said the fortune teller. Paste this shellfish onto a wall, said the fortune teller. Paste this shellfish onto a wall, said the fortune teller. Paste this shellfish onto a wall, said the fortune teller. Paste this shellfish onto a wall, said the fortune teller. Shellfish with a magic wand. Shellfish with a magic wand. Chest. Shellfish forces chest on fish suffering from sexual addiction, zapping them. Well, I should not have googled that immediately. Okay. Maybe that's a phone Google. Define chest. Because to keep oneself pure, it's quite explicit. I'm sure that's not what they mean though. Like you can chastise someone in other ways, like telling them off. So is that what it's about? The only one using it is here. Could do with seeing it in a sentence. Do they have that option? Look up words, look up words, look up words. Oh, perfect. Oh, useless. Here we go. Sadako wanted to forget about it, so that's using it as a name. What? Are they all using it as a name? Maybe it's only used as a name, because that's all that's coming up in here. Oh. That seems very complicated. I guess it does seem, I don't know. Chess just doesn't seem like the right word for this, that's all. I don't want to have to learn it if it's not actually correct. Virtuous, chaste, pure, loyal. Maybe let's call it pure, I don't know. Shellfish becomes chaste after being zapped with a magic wand. Pop song. Employee Kaishen. Well, so an employee has to climb up his mouth if he wants to keep his job. Shellfish mouth employee. I don't know. Probably not going to forget that one anytime soon anyway. Now this was C, or to look at. Primitive for C. But I don't believe this is used the same in Mandarin, but we'll see. But this is literally like the verb to see, to look. I would call this origin or beginning. Perfect. Beginning. Page, paragraph. Shellfish carrying a page balanced on its head. 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 Or a beginning and page. So stubborn. Stubborn person. A stubborn person. A stubborn person refuses to begin the first page of the book. A stubborn person refuses to begin the first page of the book. A stubborn person refuses to begin the first page of the book. Some person uses to begin the first page of a book. Mediocre, ordinary. Yeah. Yes. I like that. Something more ordinary than seeing a drop of tea on a table. Something more ordinary than seeing a drop of tea on a table. Flesh. Texture. Muscle. Strong wind tests the muscles of your body. I'm going to get in trouble if I Google this one, huh? Okay, cool. Looks like quite scientific here. Cool. Okay. And yeah, flesh muscle. Nice. So the fleshy. They're calling this wind here, where it was table in the other one. It should probably be wind in the other one too. But I hopefully won't forget that one. Flesh, wind, strong wind. About muscles of your flesh ripple in the wind. It's kind of a grotesque thing to think about, but I think it'll make it easy to remember. The muscles of your flesh ripple in the wind. The muscles of your flesh ripple in the wind. The muscles of your flesh ripple in the wind. The muscles of your flesh ripple in the wind. I still got 40 to go, my god. I think this is a bound up shellfish. Defeated. Tied up, the shellfish had to accept being defeated. Bound up, the shellfish had to accept being defeated. Bound up, the shellfish had to accept being defeated. Bound up, the shellfish had to accept being defeated. Equals 2 drops inside a ladle. I call this out a bit ladle, so you can say 2. Actually, let's see what comes up if I Google this. See what it's actually used for. I find this just going to see the images quite useful. So what are we looking at here? I mean, is it uniform? Like a school uniform? I don't think it is. Unless this picture is talking about uniforms, like doctors' uniforms. And here maybe it means uniform as in equidistant. Yeah, well distributed. Doesn't say anything there about class uniforms. It means that even. From the label. Uniform. Distributed. 2 drops from the ladle to make it evenly distributed. Remove 2 drops from the label to make it evenly distributed. Remove 2 drops from the label to make it evenly distributed. Okay, this is a phrase, is it? Sentence. A sentence. Words from your mouth. Phrase is a bound up set of words from your mouth. A Decameron, a anyone watching the stream would lose their minds if they saw that. I mean, that one's a useless one. I think I'll bury that one because it's only used to refer to a set of 10 days, which I've never ever heard anyone refer to. So we can bury, I think, do I bury equals? So hopefully we won't see that one again, hopefully, because I think that's a bit of a waste of time learning that one. Yeah, ladle with a single drop of soup. White ladle. This would be bullseye in Japanese, but I know that it's used a lot more than that in Mandarin because I've already seen it. Yes, it's a possession particle. Okay, bullseye. So bullseye is kind of useless. This is like a let's call it Mr. White's ladle, and that way we sort of get that notion of possessiveness. And use this ladle, and we can get away from that weird bullseye thing, because that doesn't mean anything. Possessive particle or bullseye. Possessive particle. Possessive particle. Neck, Kubi. Makes me think of giraffes there. Heads. Heads in what sense? Head is in the head or chief. So again, heads is such a weird. I'm really glad I'm googling all these because they don't really make any sense. It's not really a head. It's like a chief. And it's not a nose either. But head chief Viking. Has two horns coming out of his. I don't know what to call that. They call this a nose. Head chief Viking. Let's call it chief. Head chief Viking has two horns coming out of his nose. Head chief Viking has two horns coming out of his nose. Chief Viking has two horns coming out of his nose. Straight away? Placement? Or is it straight? Confirmation from 10 eyes. We'll make sure you write that extra line. Confirmation from 10 eyes. We'll make sure you draw that extra straight line. Confirmation from 10 eyes. We'll make sure you write that extra straight line. Confirmation from 10 eyes. Make sure you write that 10 eyes. Check you drew the extra straight line. 10 eyes, make sure you drew that extra straight line. 10 eyes, make sure you drew that extra straight line. 10 eyes, make sure you drew that extra straight line. 10 eyes, make sure you drew that extra straight line. Eye straight. It's like placement, place something straight in the eye line. Set up. Place the products straight in the eye line. 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 And I'm just going to be right back for a second. And we are back. Okay, this is almost taking 2 hours. This was a mistake. Anyway, what's this? I don't know, an eye with an extra line. Is it a tool? Tool, table, something like that. Tool. Keep your eyes on your tool bench. Keep an eye on your tool table. Keep an eye on your tool table. Keep an eye on your tool table. Straight tool truth. True. Need to know. Straight tool true. What was that? Let's get my old one. Here. True. The compass is a tool with a needle on top that points to true north. Correct. A compass is a tool. Compass is a tool with a needle on top that points true north. A compass is a tool with a needle on top that points to true north. A compass is a tool with a needle on top that points to true north. A compass is a tool. construction, work. Just looks like a girder to me. What is that? Left-handed construction. Oh, come on, it's not left like something left behind, is it? These stories are really bad. Get into loads of trouble. The left. Politics. Yeah, so that's just nonsense. Let's keep the tools. Tools by one side. To my left is a construction yard. Easy. My left is a construction yard. My left is a construction yard. Left is a construction yard. To my left is a construction yard. And right. To my right. I don't know. There's a big mouth. My right hand side is a mouth. My right side is a mouth. Again, another weird, grotesque image, but it'll do. It's definitely worked for me. Is this possess? But I possess a moon. Yeah. I possess a small moon on my side. Possess a small moon on my side. I possess a small moon on my side. I possess a small moon on my side. I possess a small moon on my side. Possess a small moon on my side. Shellfish possess. Possessed by money. In Japanese it would be a bribe. It is still a bribe. Get in. Possessed by money. Nope, let's do bribe. Money possesses. A bribe is when money possesses me. A bribe is when money possesses me. A bribe is when money possesses me. Construction. What is that? I being on a shellfish tribute. Okay, it's the same in Japanese. Craft a page. Craft page. Ooh. An item, but in what sense? Doesn't this show up at all? Work. Back of neck. Item thing. Item. I like these sentences. A portion of proceeds will go to this. So it's like tasks. Okay. Is a task to craft a page. Easy enough. Let's call it task. I'll keep the old meaning in there just in case we see more of them later. Is this a sword? This is a blade. 7 swords cut, 7 swords cut. 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 Cut, mouth, seduce, summon. What? Why are they so sexy? To summon. Okay. To summon. To seduce is to make a sword of one's mouth. Let's just do summoned under threat of a sword being thrust through my mouth. I'm summoned under threat of a sword being put through my mouth. I'm summoned under threat of a sword being put through my mouth. I'm summoned under threat of a sword being put through my mouth. I'm summoned under threat of a sword being put through my mouth. I'm summoned under threat of a sword being put through my mouth. The sun's summoning seems evident. Shiny. Evident. Bright, clear. Manifest, to show clearly. Clear. Clearly. Summon the sun to show clearly an object. Summon a sun to show clearly any 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 object. Summon to show clearly any object. Summon a sun to show clearly any object. Money and a sword. Power. Rule. When you have money and a sword, you make the rules. When you have money and a sword, you make the rules. When you have money and a sword, you make the rules. When you have money and a sword, you make the rules. Vice. Vice President. Vice President has one mouth, a nice heavy and a sword. The Vice President Street. 4. Oh, 10 heavenly stems. Interesting. Human Street from Japanese. 4th Street. Mouth on 4th Street. Sting. Just what looks like a nail. To sting or bite. bytes there. Bite a nail with your mouth, 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 bite a nail with your mouth. So it has to be sort of a bug bite. So let's do bug bites or nail with his mouth. Can approve of this. Give me some help. Can. Is this a dance? Can you dance the can? Elder brother. Well, let's just make older brother do the can. The older brother does the can. The older brother does the can. Is that nail page or head? Crest. Gosh, I do not like that. How different it is. Apex crown of the head. Let's do four heads on the crest of Mount Rushmore. Four heads form the crest of Mount Rushmore. Four heads from the crest of Mount Rushmore. Four heads form the crest of Mount Rushmore. Four heads form the crest of Mount Rushmore. Fish guts. Second there. Catch a fish with this hook. I guess this is the second heavenly stem then. What the hell? Right, I'll check that out later. Child. Child hook cavity. Perfect. Child hook cavity. Mouth child hook raw. After the dentist finishes drilling the cavity, the child lets out a roar. After the dentist drills into the cavity, the child lets out a roar. Dentist cavity, the child lets out a roar. It's a hard one. Finish. Ooh. Grammatic particle. See this a lot. Change of state situation now. learn this real quick. Expressive particle. They said it was like ED though. Okay, better just learn that. ED. Just a particle to learn. Not really useful for now. Woman. Nice. Woman. 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 Like. Good. Good mother is a woman who takes care of her child. Good mother is a woman who takes care of her child. A good mother is a woman who takes care of her child. Mother is a woman who takes care of her child. A good mother is a woman who takes care of her child. Woman, mouse. Is it like this? Yeah. Let's get my story from before. Woman seeing her likeness in a mirror. A 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 woman seeing her likeness in a mirror. This is also a mother, I believe. Pierce. That's 100. Wow. Pierce. 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 Okay, and then, oh, 101 there. Is that a brother as well? Elder brother too. Okay, good. Elder brother, elder brother, elder brother, elder brother. Okay. Oh, it's almost midnight. Oh, it's because I buried a card. I got an extra card. Okay. It says I took 1 hour, but I'm sure I started streaming at 9. Okay, cool. Well, that's that done. And yeah, my plan is to do this every day for the next 10 days. And if it goes well, maybe 30 days, but I'm not sure. We'll see how useful it is, I guess. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow. I'm aiming for 9 AM, but I might see, it's kind of holiday times at the moment. It's New Year's and stuff. So yeah, thanks everybody for watching. Really enjoyed that. Bye-bye.